Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll be starting in an upright kneeling position. Bring your hands to rest on your thighs, allow your eyes to close, and just find a few moments for stillness and breath. Notice the movement of your inhales, how your ribs can expand from side to side. And with every exhale, feel your ribs and your belly deflate. Just allow your breaths to start to become a little bit longer in each direction. Nice full big breaths in and full exhales. Transition yourself to an all fours tabletop position. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Start to move through a cat-cow. So on an inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And on your exhale, press into the mat, dome through your upper back. And continue to work through your cat-cow with breath. Think with every set, you could get a little bit deeper. Let your spine arch a little bit more and then round through the upper back. Let's take about 2 more here with breath. Move at your own pace, your own range of motion. And after you're finished, bring yourself back to a neutral tabletop position, and then we're going to start to move into a little bit of spinal balancing. Reach your right hand forward, your left leg back, and then lower and switch. Reach your left hand forward, your right leg back. Lower and switch. We take this 5 times total on each side. So we're starting to find a little more bracing action through the core. Make sure as you're going through this, you're not letting your lower spine hang down. You're really supporting the lower spine with your core. We're also starting to find a little bit more engagement through your shoulder, that stability in your shoulder, and then also in the glute with your lifted leg. Keep this moving almost like a little march. And after you've taken your 5th set, hold one arm long and one leg back long behind you. Stay there. Option to stay and hold. Option to flip your bottom toes and try to float your bottom knee up off the ground. It gets really unsteady if you try to do that. This is meant to be a challenge. Try to hold this for 5 seconds. Lower yourself down, and we're going to take this the other side. So just switch the leg behind you, switch the arm in front of you. Maybe you hold that, or maybe you flip the back toes and lift your bottom knee up off the ground. Just to challenge the balance, we're here about 5 seconds. You'll probably notice yourself teeter-totter a little bit. After 5 seconds, lower back down to a tabletop position. And then from here, flip your toes and find a downward facing dog. You can find a little bit of movement in your downward facing dog if you'd like to pedal through your feet. Maybe move through your head, through your elbows. And then find a neutral position here. And lift your right hand up off the ground just for 5 seconds. Really press down into your left palm. And now release. So your right hand gently comes down, and we switch this up. Anchor through your right palm, reach your left arm up, pause and breathe. Spread your right fingers wide, breathe here. And then with control, lower your left palm back down to the ground. Back in a downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, roll yourself forward to your high plank. Hold for 10 seconds just to build a little more heat in your core. Knit your rib cage together, lengthen through the back of your neck. Press into the ground actively. Spread your fingers wide. Continue to breathe here. And then with control, lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. Keep your left hand underneath your shoulder. Reach your right arm long in front of you. And I want you to lift your right hand and your left leg at the same time, along with your head and chest, and then lower. Take this 5 times total. So working in opposition here, you're gonna have a little bit of weight pressed into your left palm that's on the mat. But we really just want to focus on the strength of the spine. 5 times total. Think of the length. Your fingertips pull away from your back toes. And after your 5th time, we switch this up. So the right palm comes flat. The left fingertips reach out long in front of you. And then just start to lift and lower. Oppositional lift and lower here. Feel the stretch from your fingertips forward to your back toes back behind you. Lower with control. And then after your 5th set, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, press yourself back to a tabletop position, and then move to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift your right leg high. And then step your right foot so it comes between your hands for a low lunge. Lower your back knee down to your mat. Lift your arms up overhead. 3 breaths in this low lunge position. Every exhale, allow your hips to sink a little bit heavier. And now flip your back toes. With control, lift your back knee and tip your torso forward. Bring your arms back behind you. Energize through your fingertips here. Transition to your high crescent lunge. Bring your torso upright. Bring your biceps to frame your face. Try to bend a little bit deeper into your front right knee. And then bring both hands down to frame your front right foot. One-legged plank. Extend your right leg. Press down into your hands. Hold here for 5 seconds. Then lower your right toes. Bend your elbows in half. Low plank. Hold here for 5 seconds. Option to lower the knees down if you ever need it. Power up. Press down into your palms. Back to your high plank. Downward facing dog. Left side. Inhale. Lift your left leg high. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands and then lower your back knee down towards your mat. On your inhale, lift your arms up, lift through the chest, and continue to press your hips forward and down. Think of the space that you're creating from your ribs to your hips. And now a lot of control here. Flip your back toes, lift your back knee, and charge your chest forwards. Think of that line of energy from the crown of your head all the way through your back right heel. Lift your body up, high crescent lunge. Can you take a little bit of a deeper bend through your front left knee? Really get a little bit lower in your lunge. Bring your hands down, one-legged high plank. Hover your left toes off the ground and hold here for 5 seconds. Press into your palms, lengthen through the back of your neck. Now lower your left foot, bend your elbows in half, low plank hold for 5 seconds. Always lower the knees if you need that extra support. Press yourself back up, high plank, downward facing dog. We're gonna take that all a little quicker now. On your inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, lower your back knee. Inhale to lift your arms up, lift your chest. Flip your back toes, exhale, lift your back knee, chest forward. Little different here, airplane pose. Shift all of your weight into your front right foot. Try to square your left hip down to the ground and actively pull your shoulder blades together. Find your balance here. And then lots of control. Bend your bottom knee, high crescent lunge. Lift your arms, maybe lift your gaze, a small little back bend. Bring your hands down, one-legged plank option here to try to stretch your left fingertips forward. Now this is super challenging and you'll probably feel unsteady right away, and that's okay. This is meant to be a challenge. Just try to keep your hips square down to the ground, press down into your right palm, bring yourself back into your high plank, bend your elbows in half, low plank, press back up, high plank to downward facing dog. Left side, inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge, lower the back knee. Inhale, reach your arms up, reach your chest up. Flip your back toes. Exhale, hover the back knee, chest forwards. Airplane balance. Shift all of your weight into your front left foot. Square your right hip down to the ground and try to pin your shoulder blades together. Think of the energy coming out of your bottom right foot. Lengthen through the crown of your head. And then with just as much control, soften in your front knee. Lift your arms up, high crescent lunge, maybe a little bit of a heart opener here. Bring your hands down to frame your left foot, one-legged plank, extend the left leg, option to hold or option to try to float your right fingertips forward. Take your time. We hold here about 10 seconds. Actively press down into your left hand. If you fall out of it, no big deal. Try to bring yourself back up into it. Stretch your fingers away from your toes. You're almost out of it. And bring yourself back to a high plank. Bend your elbows, low plank. Power and press back up to your high plank and move to downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, roll yourself back forward into your high plank, and then try to stay in this plank as you lower all the way down to your belly. Flip to the tops of your feet, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and lift yourself up for a cobra pose. Just a wonderful way to stretch through the front of your torso, that abdominal area that we worked so much in this practice. And then lower yourself down, and however you need to, flip yourself onto your back. We're moving into one set of a bridge pose here. Separate your feet about hips width distance. Pull your heels closer towards your seat, and then press your hips up into your bridge pose. With this bridge pose, really allow the front of your body to just release. Take nice big breaths into your belly. Continue to press down into your feet to lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Give yourself 1 or 2 more big breaths in your bridge pose. And then slowly start to lower yourself down. Hips come all the way down to the ground. Pull your knees into your chest and rock and roll yourself to an upright sitting position. Come to a cross-legged easy seat. Bring your hands to rest on your knees. Maybe take a moment to allow your eyes to close. Sit up nice and tall here and come back to the movement and sensation of your breath. Feel your butt bones plug down into your mat and feel your spine grow long away from the ground. Thank you for joining us. And that's your flow.